I feel like, you know, with you gotta start taking accountability. It seems like you trying to be like, you're not everybody's ball, all this. You gotta start taking accountability.
Nigga, I'm not everybody's ball.
If you don't take accountability, if you don't fucking take accountability,
who ball am I then? No.
Nigga, Twitch.tv's.
I'ma smack this out of you.
Okay, my fault. Okay.
What you talking about?
Okay, my fault. Okay, genuinely. Okay.
Definitely ain't your ball. Ain't you on Twitch?
Girl, I don't want to be your ball. Girl, I don't want to. Girl, I don't want to do that. I don't do that.
You'll never get the chance to do this.
I never wanted to.
Never get no balls.
Never
so
wanted to.
Don't do that.
Jim.
First of all, Nabo, that was a little hilarious. I know that's off topic, but seriously, I be using women lingo like that. But honestly, she's definitely the community ball. She's an outside ball at that, and she's been getting dribbled. And I don't feel bad saying that. Shorty is essentially the female version of a male content creator who spams women content. This type of joking is merely the product of that. But before we go any further, I need to give you guys some context, because she definitely did this to herself. Apparently, Summyah is a mean girl streamer, and if you remember during Streamer University, there was hella drama, hella controversy. But part of that drama was bigger streamers egoing people. This girl was apparently avoiding all these small streamers and only.
See, I found out about this woman from her doing collabs, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that's kind of the purpose of her doing the collabs, was introduce herself to new audiences and then be able to bring these potential new audience members to her platforms. I don't think that's the problem, but unfortunately, when you start to spread yourself too thin, you start to look a certain type of way, especially with the type of content that you may be doing. I mean, just showing up and doing like, hey, what's your favorite movie? You know what I mean? Dude, that type of content is completely different than, you know, jumping in everybody's streams and trying to act as if there's some type of like sexual tension there, or relationship tension or something like that. Y'all flirting, doing that type of stuff. It does paint yourself in a certain light, maybe to the audience, which, you know, is going to consume the content, and then a lot of potential collaborators. Calling her the community ball, I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I'm gonna let this video play.
Only going for other big streamers. Well, I guess I'll say mid-sized streamer, because she had 100K going in, or at least that's what they're saying.
I feel like you don't really collaborate with anybody. I feel like you think like you collaborate with niggas out there and all that. If you see a content creator, nah, he was out there. But like, for example, I could clock T crazy. Yesterday, Kai came in the suite when, what's her name, Asian girl? Nina was making the whole shit. When you was in there, other people came in there, you opened the door, you see niggas, you slammed that door mad quick.
Because my chat said she was singing loud.
Stop cap.
That's not capping.
Now I understand that you're here to help your brand. That's what Streamer University was about. You want to be around all these big people, but I think it definitely gets to a point if you get called to the office. And also, once again, she had about 100K followers going in, so it's not like she was desperate for the put on or desperate for the collabs. And then the thing that was,
you start to water down yourself in the midst of that. So from what I can tell, they put her to the office and talked about how she wasn't giving the smaller streamers an opportunity. I think that was one of the biggest critiques going into and coming out of Streamer University, was that a lot of these smaller streamers weren't getting light from the bigger streamers. And you got somebody like this who straight up, I ain't seen her in nobody else's collabs. All I've seen her with is like the, you know, the guys that's blowing up. Enzo, Funny Mike, DDG, Cinco, Prime, that dude Jason, and then Dabo. The big names. I could be mistaken. I'm not too super tapped in. So it's very possible she could have done collaborations with smaller content creators. But, I mean, according to them pulling into her office, that wasn't true. She ain't doing that.
getting me is that, nigga, she's just around all these big male streamers. And obviously, she's making that type of flirtatious content. This stuff that goes viral, whatever. I can't stop her, but damn, why you gotta just be around all these dudes?
Y'all gotta go back to half.
Reggie?
She might be.
Video call on your PC, okay? Video call?
Yes, bro.
How do y'all feel?
Yes.
Did you enjoy your time handcuffed?
Oh God, I did. We're free now though.
You just talking about you better go to that girl room. Why we handcuffs?
Look at those handcuffs, by the way. Those are not normal. Do your research. Those are not safe for work handcuffs. And the fact that Summyah was even willing to participate in this activity is already very telling about her as a person.
What? I think people are doing those handcuff, like people been doing handcuff together content for a long time. Spend a day with me handcuffed to my friend. Spend a day with me handcuffed to my brother. Spend a day handcuffed to me to my partner. Whatever the case may be. We've been doing that type of content for a long time.
And that's just setting the tone for who she is as a content creator. And I need you guys to remember this. Repetition is personality. And as you watch this video, you'll see how repeated actions become associated with character. Everything that's been said about her is a product of that same repetition. Now that I've shown you that she's willing to do that type of stuff for content, this is her and DDG's interaction.
It says you're 17.
I'm not 17, bro. I wouldn't even be here.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
I see you in class. Good night.
Yo, no Q&A?
I see you in class.
Damn, Chad. I can't even talk to my professor. I've been saying I wanted a one-on-one this whole time.
I see you in class.
Damn.
Be there.
Can I know how to the first assignment?
Nope. Good night.
You sure I didn't get no cheat code?
Good night.
For the first time, I can say I actually messed with what DDG did. This was mad mature and the appropriate response to learning Summyah is 19. DDG is 27 and he does his own freaked out girl content. So I applaud him for not wanting to include and indulge in a 19-year-old's clear attempts at flirting with them. And she's talking about some one-on-one time. If a shorty wants one-on-one time, what do y'all think that means?
See, this is what the problem. You equating it to something that doesn't necessarily have to be there. Like, I think like it's a double-edged sword. Shorty, if you feel like you're not supposed to be linked to all these people romantically, don't present it as if it was something that you was going to be doing or doing anything with them romantically. Like she was they're saying that she's just trying to get the information in regards to the class. You making this video trying to be like, what are you really trying to say when you saying that you want to get the cheat codes? Like she could really just mean, I just want to do some content. We just chilling doing the Q&A. Can I at least get, you know what I'm saying, the study for the test? She could literally just meant that.
With the context in mind, you have to understand that this woman is portraying herself as someone who is willing to do boy content, flirt with big streamers, various big streamers at that, just for the clicks and attention. So it was only inevitable that she'd be called the community ball. She goes to Streamer University, a place where a lot of people are building their brand and getting known. And when you look at her digital footprint of that, all you see is clips of her and niggas. I'm hardly seeing solo clips, reaction content, desktop content.
That's what I was gonna say. What does Summyah do outside of these collaborations? That's kind of my only critique. Like I said, I don't really watch her too much. I'm not like super tapped into Twitch and content creator world. So what does she do outside of that?
It's just her and niggas. So let's just move away from Streamer University because there's a clip of Funny Mike and Jay Cinco laughing at her because she says she's nobody's ball.
Hey, stop all that. Nobody's ball. She said she nobody's ball, Mike. She said she nobody's ball. She said she don't get dribbled. I believe that. That's funny.
No, he just talking.
Now this clip was straight up bullying. Not even gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it a bean. I feel bad for Short, but look who she's around. A bunch of niggas. A bunch of niggas you probably shouldn't be around.
You can call it what you want. At the end of the day, Shorty wanted the fast lane to, you know, clout. I mean, this is what it is. That's the cheat code. If you, like, literally, if you're doing content creation and you're able to collaborate with people that already have clout, all you're going to do is be able to, boom, broadcast yourself to a bunch of existing subscribers / supporters, and it's going to catapult you to having subscribers or supporters of your own. Now, people that do subscribe and support Summyah, I know that she's done, like, she does stream and she does do content on her own, but, like, what does that content typically revolve around?
Jay Cinco is a girl content merchant and he be around Deshae Frost, a fellow girl content merchant. That's enough reason to avoid that space. But what is somebody doing? Sitting on the dude's freaking lap. Same dude that's laughing about her being a community ball is the same one whose lap she's sitting on. And in the clip, bro, they're frying her so bad. And what is her response?
Nah, it's just content.
Which, okay, Summyah, it may just be content, but why does your content have to be flirtatious? And before y'all say anything, I'm against girl content as well. I don't even like Deshae Frost. I don't like Jay Cinco, and that's because I'm a young man. I'm not about to sit up here and watch other men flirt with girls. That's odd and very doable. Just because it's content don't mean it's not gonna have adverse effects on you or how people perceive.
I agree. It does change the way people perceive you, bro. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, she's a pretty girl. Like, people are always going to make the accusations and trying to insinuate that she should be with somebody or whatever the case may be because she is a young, pretty girl. If your name is already connected to these people digitally, and a lot of people that are pansexual are going to believe that you are in actually pursuit of a relationship with these people, then, I mean, that's kind of the content you're creating. And in the end of the day, you're kind of using these people around you in order to get the fans to create a narrative or believe a narrative or get it talking, clicking, chatting about a potential relationship in you with this other person. It may not be directly your intended goals or your intended idea when you're doing content, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. I mean, if you get up there, you're doing all this "she likes me" kind of content, and you sit on a dude's lap and then try to like play it off like, oh, it's not that. You're going on dates, doing all type of stuff, and you're trying to like, I guess, separate that from your real life. I think that's kind of tough. I mean, I just don't think you got to do the content in the first place that way. It's that simple, you know.
Perceive you.
Go find
and for
other
me,
people.
I'm personally perceiving Summyah as a woman who is going from big male streamer to big male streamer. I'm not even trolling. Shorty was just on a date with a dude named E-Man, and I've never heard of him. But you want to know what's crazy about that? And I mean no shade, because the first time I hear about E-Man is through a Summyah collab.
Hello? I'm playing basketball with the bros and shit. I'm in the middle of a game. I'm gonna call you after. Bet. I can't wait for this guy's on shit. I ain't gonna lie, gang. I need you.
Yeah, it's just bad looks, bro. You do not have to be collabing with all these dudes. Like when he just said you're going to Sky Zone. So again, it's almost like you're just going on dates. At the end of the day, that's what it looks like. Like if your auntie was watching this, she'd be like, "Man, you're going on dates with all these dudes. I seen you on a date with this guy." So like if your auntie was watching this, that's what she would think. Your grandma was watching this, she would be like, "Oh yeah, what you doing?" Your grandpa watches, that's what they would think. You went on a bunch of dates with dudes, and it's just being broadcast online. At the end of the day, you're benefiting from it because you're getting fans and supporters from it. But it's like a cheat code. Like you I don't know, like you could have just grinded. You're a pretty girl. You could have did plenty of other things in order to get your own fan base that really supports you for who you are. Now, granted, there's nothing wrong with you collaborating with people, but if you're doing it under this context,
Nigga, I can't jump my shit. What the fuck do you mean, though?
Part of a bigger problem because these male streamers don't see women as women. They see them as assets to the content. And I touch on that later. But because they...
Yeah, like there's plenty of women that don't even make social media content. They end up in these dudes' videos. And it's like, oh, is this potentially my girlfriend? Tune into the next video to find out. And then, like, that's it. That's they're just milking that as like a storyline for the content, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But if you are one of the women in the content, then, you know, the people that become parasocial about this type of content are going to then question you and say, hey, what's going on with you and so-and-so? But then you end up in somebody else's video doing the same thing. Then you end up in somebody else's video doing the same thing. Then you end up in somebody else's video doing the same thing. Unfortunately, the people on the internet are going to make these accusations about you. It doesn't necessarily mean they're true or rooted in any base or fact, but it is the perception that people are going to have on you based on your digital footprint.
She's for everybody. She's like, you know, and as soon as I get in your face, you'll jump the first chance you get, and you'll be surprised. Some negative clips, like you go on Twitter, type my name in, it's weird. You go on TikTok, type my name in, it gets weird.
Okay, I do agree. Niggas are hypocrites. If Shorty was in the face of half of the people calling her a 304 or ball, they'd be going. But that's just men being dumb. Not saying it makes it okay, but you guys know the communities of these big streamers. I also think that people don't be criticizing the male streamers enough for being balls themselves. And if we're being honest, those guys are really like outdoor and one balls.
I disagree. I think most of the internet has immediately been critical of like guys like Shay Frost and Jay Cinco and the type of content they're putting out there and how the lengths that they're going in order to try and clip and keep people entertained. I mean, literally, the people were literally calling Shay like the Shay Freaky Frost. He's been canceled like 100 times because people believe that he's just gone too far with his content.
I'm gonna lie.
I just don't do shit like this. It's so weird. Yeah, I'm on stream right now, and I'm just calling to let you know. Are you free to talk right now or no?
I'm on right now. I said, "Are you okay? What happened?"
No, I just don't.
Oh yeah, she just did collab with like Dez and them too, right?
Appreciate yesterday or no, this morning. That's it. That's all. How y'all try to make it seem like I was in Punga and I wasn't. Y'all knew that.
I know that. I mean, you trolling, man. You that ass?
I'm just. That's right. Hang up. Because I'm not trolling. Like what the. I done had talks with these people off camera and told them like I don't appreciate the narrative going around, and I'm only addressing it online. I let everything else slide, like I do. But if you come to something on the internet, I'm gonna address it on the internet. Period. Point blank. Y'all, it wasn't a problem when niggas was laughing on camera. The fuck? Now it's a problem when I made somebody feel bad and they wanna address the narrative. No.
And honestly, bro, I really do feel bad for her. And I know I said at the start I don't and that she deserves it, but Even though I think she be getting around, and not literally, but just being around on everyone's streams, she's not being treated right, and I don't agree with that. But guess what the context was? She is responding to a rumor about her and another streamer. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of empathy that can be given to Summyah. Seriously, she's a content creator who is just now in the spotlight. But with that being said, there's also an extreme amount of accountability that needs to be taken. Number one, girl, stop going to all these streams and flirting. I'm so serious. I don't see Senna with this problem. She's not getting it.
You right though. I mean, I think even I don't even know. Like, I just saw that Wendy girl, and I got wind of her via DDG stream, and a lot of people, I'm sure, got wind of DDG from Wendy streams. The Wendy girl's got like 20,000 subs. Cinda's got thousands and thousands of subs. Bro, there's plenty of female content creators that do streaming. I mean, I've seen women that do like wrestling streams. There's women that up there talking about movies. There's women doing plenty of things, makeup. There's plenty of content creators that doing all types of things. What does Summyah do uniquely that is for her? If you have blown up being the trophy, right? Essentially, all these dudes that's so-called sharking, that's trying to go after women and trying to secure women and trying to go get a girlfriend, and you are the epicenter of all their content. At the end of the day, people are going to look at you, or you're going to brand yourself almost as this pretty girl that all the dudes are going after. At the end of the day, even Lala has enough content of her being herself, being this model or being this pretty girl, and plenty of things outside of simply just being tied to a dude in particular. Especially since like she's been at least in this consecration cycle or in this consecration world for quite a little bit of time. I believe DDG signed her like a few years back. And then other than that, I just seen like guys like Cinco trying to make content with her. I'm sure there's been plenty of other dudes that have tried. Like I know she's been on e-dates and stuff like that, but there's like a digital date where you're kind of casted as this hard to reach person. And that's pretty much how it goes. There's going to be plenty of dudes, no matter what, if you're a woman, they're going to be like, oh, I'm interested in this woman. She looks good, da 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 da. But the fact that you're giving in and you're, like I said, I think you're spreading yourself too thin by trying to collaborate with everybody so soon. You don't have to. Spread that stuff out. Oh, yeah, yo. And I get it. It's a tough juggle because you're trying to stay relevant while trying to take advantage of new opportunities that are awarded to you while you're popping. But like I said, there's plenty of women that don't necessarily do the collaboration content, that don't rely on it. So at the end of the day, they have a strong enough base of people that support them for them, instead of coming there trying to figure out what's tea with them and this other guy.
1,000 rumors about her and dudes. Number two, Summyah, stop trusting all these big creators.
And I don't think it's a big deal because the shorty's up there crying apparently on Twitch, or maybe her stream, because she's been tied to these dudes. But at the end of the day, all your content is revolving around these dudes, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check it out. Hold on. I can't even find her channel. Okay, I found it. Her and Etsy, who I believe was her streamer university roommate, guys took me to the rodeo. This is a date with Jay Cinco. On Bowling Funny Mike is, are you loyal to Jay Cinco in the thumbnail? I get it, it's clickbait, but at the end of the day, it's kind of put on under the umbrella of a date, right? True the Drink with GM with Jay Sean. First day at Streamer University, Kai Snacks in the thumbnail. So I met Reggie, Streamer University, Reggie's in the thumbnail. Jay Sean and my cousin, and Jay Sean's in the thumbnail with a heartbreak. Pop the Balloon with Lil Mike. Jay Cinco invited me to Miami. I got put on a date by White Boy M. I'm not knocking what she's doing, but it's obvious that she's trying to use these people for views. Not knocking it. That's the purpose of YouTube. She's going to be in this title. But is it? That's all her videos. Do I like Jay Cinco? Addressing some drama. She's got a random haul. Rating streamers and content creators. Mecca, Kev, and Eli. I guess those are content creators too. Influencer Content House. Love is in the air. She had the first YouTube video. That joint did more views, or just her regular YouTube video, than like half the other stuff that she's doing with like all these other dudes and stuff like that. But whatever. I don't agree though that like we should be calling her like somebody's ball, because in real life we don't know what she do or don't do. But I did hear like wasn't she connected to some like football players or something like that? What the heck was that about? And some rappers. So in real life she moving. Anyways, We don't know that. We don't know that to be true. Anyways, I feel like we've been normalizing having these little kids like Rakai, Summyah, and Aya around these grown individuals in this first streaming place. For comparison, Yana, who was 18. Oh yeah, this woman who was at Stream University. Be around male streamers, but don't get the same accusation because he doesn't do the flirtatious content. That's what I was kind of pointing to. Rakai tried to ask her to the prom. Who does she go with? Her friends. That's a big difference. Tobias take accountability at some point. It's all domino effect. Unfortunately, yeah, the internet could be wrong about a lot of things, but it's like the end of the day, people can only make assumptions on what you put out there. Now, if people doing some weird digging about you, then that they're being weird. But yeah, I don't know. She's not being treated right. She always walks away and has to defend herself every time after disrespect. Now clips of her are flirting. She's a pretty girl. Most guys would fake flirt with her for first, and they always treat her like she's easy. That's my observation. I agree with that too. I think unfortunately, like she's just pretty enough that a lot of dudes are gonna try to like bag her for content purposes and be like, yeah, I got y'all. Yeah, I could, but it's not fair. All this is just a result of everybody being so hypersexual nowadays. I don't blame them for feeling like this is what they got to do to become bigger because this is what consumers eat up. Yep, and that's what unfortunately it is. That's why I say I can agree with her and I can agree with all these people because they're doing this type of content because at the end of the day, people eat it up. That's what people want to see. And they got to be able to provide the product to what the people are trying to consume. These fans are the problem because more than streamers themselves. Similar to the OnlyFans wave. I don't agree with it, but the losers are willing to buy it. When it's free-ish out there, that's the problem. It's mainly men dominating the streaming world, so oftentimes she's doing collabs with men. Summyah is just playing the game to get her content, but unfortunately she's a pretty girl and girls on stream always end up being the person the guy is trying to flirt with their bag. Never really anything wholesome. I kind of agree with that. That's kind of unfortunate though. That it's very possible she could be coming out there thinking that she's about to just do a regular collab, and they about to be doing like all types of fun stuff to really get the group viewers to know them, but it just comes off as flirtatious content, so that could be unfortunate. All right, I like this take here. We're doing everything for the growth. All right. She expects to gain a following from these collabs, but she adds absolutely nothing besides being pretty. Take the Reggie collab, for example. What does she even do during that stream? What does she ever do during any stream other than just looks? That's a genuine question because when I attempted to watch content involving her, she's literally just a chill, pretty girl. If you know you're going to gain popularity solely off of being pretty, I think you should try just be grateful for the fact that you're making money for doing nothing. Let me know what y'all think about it, chat.